Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I'm here at the Northeast Van Life Meetup, second year, and I met up with Sarah and Simon, and today they're going to give us a tour of their DIY camper van.
Hi guys, how you doing? So this is a camper van. We got a van that was a cargo van that we actually built from scratch. We started off building from the floor up, and we'd like to take you on a tour around our camper van. I shall hand over to my wife, who
Come
will
on
then
in. Come on
take
in.
you in.
It's a bit of a step at the moment. That's down the line. What we've done is created something that we can live in. Basically, the kitchen with the induction, just a cold tap. We don't use hot water. If we need emergency hot water, a kettle works because we are totally all electric. Electric refrigerator, we went with this amazing little Dometic, more the fact.
Worth its weight in gold, absolutely fabulous. And it is very efficient because all the cold air is kept in. When you open the door, none of the cold air comes out. And the nice thing about this, you can unhook it. Here and here, you can take the whole unit out.
And it also works off 110 as well as 12 volts.
Exactly.
Which is a real useful. Important feature though, it does make ice.
For your gin and tonic.
Starting at the front, not too much to explain. I think it's fairly, these were standard swivel chairs. The only difference we did was we put in a fur. You might think sheepskin, why are you doing that? Isn't it hot? But it actually, in the summertime, it gives you a little bit more breathing. It's worked out exceptionally well. We ended up with these vents because we weren't sure how much venting we were going to have in the van. So these are great, they're fantastic, they're safe. You can leave your car locked up with these on and nobody can get in. New feature, this is the best feature out, is our JVC Apple Play unit. And today we used it for the first time and it brought us here, no problems.
Big screen.
Above, a lot of people box this in. We left it open so it has access. And it's got a wet tray in here. The nice thing there, if you have a wet clothing, you can just throw it up there and nothing gets damaged. We have two fan units, one in, one out. So if it's a really stuffy, tight place and we have to keep ourselves contained, we can keep the air circulating.
So you get the airflow going in a circular motion, keeping you cool. And the roof here is redwood. This was recycled from an old 40-year-old deck. We simply planed it down and attached it to the ceiling. And now we've got, and we just sealed the wood and nothing else. And the pièce de la résistance, a really cool thing, is our spice rack for cooking. Everything under the sun you need to cook on the stove at your fingertips. This was something that was we found absolutely essential for cooking inside.
The other one is very simple. We've just created a very simple screen. It just drops down and there's magnets in the edge of the curtain that just clip onto the side here and here. It's a little bit cumbersome sometimes, but we love it. It makes it. The floor, we did not want a natural wood floor, so we ended up, somebody gave us some carpets and it was fantastic. It's been great in the weather and easy to clean, and if you spill something you just pick out the tile and throw it out and put a new one in. Here you'll notice that these seats were exceptionally high, and when you sit your feet are hanging. So we ended up putting in this shelf. Not only can we use it for storage, takes our pedestal and our hiking sticks, we have our heater here. I know a lot of people put it underneath the seat. We couldn't because of the swivel, and it's underneath here, our little Webasto heater, which is all controlled by the thermostat there, and it takes what, a gallon of fuel for 24 hours, and it's very effective. We have a table at the back, you'll see, shown how it moves around. We've made it so it can be swiveled. You can slide it forward, slide it back, and that can be brought down to the front here. So if we want to, we can set our captain seats and have the table up here. So it's a multi-purpose. The other thing we found with the table is that actually fills the gap for the two twin beds. Oh, just don't worry about moving it. Just drops down. You can see it's the same diameter, drops down, and we end up with a double bed. But to be honest, we're using the single beds. It's absolutely great. The kitchen cabinet. This whole unit we can take out. It means if we need to, we can take the refrigerator and this out and use this for hauling and not just an RV. All the units, all the cabinets were made. You'll notice there's no knobs.
So you can't catch yourself.
You can't catch it. And every single one, oof, I can't pull it on here, but I'll show it on another one. If I go back to the spice rack, we've got the 10-pound pull catch, so that there are no knobs on any of the airline cabinets, as we call them.
And the rest of these are just for everyday kitchen utensils, pots and pans, all for cooking on.
Now the other important thing, everybody forgets about the trash bin. This one is strapped in. You might wonder why. Because out here, this is our grey water. We have no holes drilled through the base of the van except for the heater. And we carry an extra 5 gallons of water in there as well for emergency, though we do have a 20-gallon tank in the back.
As my wife was saying, this bed can be 2 single beds here, or we can put this down the centre, pull this out, and we have another plank, and we can make a full-size, king-size bed here, which is fabulous if you really want to sprawl out into the van. This was something that we wanted also to have access to the back so that we could not just block off the back of the van. And the electronics here we have, which is quite useful, is a water heater, which is at the back of the van. You'll see in a few minutes later, that we can shower from. So we put the heater on, and in 10 minutes we've got a warm shower that does about a 3 to 5 minute shower, gets you washed. We've also got units for plugging in iPads, and we've got them over here at the back, so we can plug our phones in anywhere we need to. We also have the on-off water pump that allows water to there. If you then isolate it, the water stops.
You might wonder, where does all the electricity come from? Down underneath here. I'll let Simon explain this because he's the king man.
Underneath here we have two 200 amp hour batteries, and we have 2 inverters to take it from DC up to AC, and we've got these all connect up so we can run DC or AC units in this van. There's no gas in this van, it's all electric, and this setup will allow us to be out in the boonies for about 3 to 4 days without having to worry about charging up the batteries.
But we do also have solar on the top.
And
how many solar panels?
We have 4 100-watt solar panels on the top of the van. So, and one other thing, we do have a toilet, an emergency toilet only, that comes out. It's on wheels, so you can actually sit on this, do your business. There's a privacy curtain that goes up here that's not shown at the moment, that you get privacy, and you have this fan here that can take out any odours. But this unit is like an airplane unit. It's hermetically sealed so that no odour comes out from within the toilet.
You might think that we don't have the high bed, we don't have a lot of storage. In fact, we have an amazing amount. We've got this whole section here, and we're not travelling big distances at the moment, so there's a section here. You've seen the electrics. We've got another one under here, another big storage space. Under here, you've got the extra table unit, which can fill in here, and a 20-gallon water tank. But I think the piece de resistance in this van, with the glass, you might say, oh, doesn't it get hot in the summer? Well, I'm just going to demonstrate quickly what we have done. A very simple but effective curtain. It's thermal. You buy the material from Joann's Fabric, believe it or not. And I just put a total sleeve around the whole thing, screwed it up, and you just have a piece of wood at the bottom that rolls it up. It works for heat in and out. So in the wintertime, it keeps the heat in, and in the summertime, it keeps the heat out.
And so we have a microwave for microwaving anything. This is, again, it runs off the inverter, and it's very useful for heating up food. All our cabinets stand up by themselves with these arms, and they're like airplane cabinets, designed such that it takes good sized bags into the cabinet. And here is a control panel that's used for the inverters. So if you want 120 volt, you simply put these on and off you go, and everything is now activated. The heater for the Webasto is here. You just turn that and the Webasto heater down here kicks on. And all these dimmers are for dimming the lights in the van. It's a simple touch. And again, charging your phone. We have a unit here as well. So we've got a lot of these around the van because we're always charging our phones. Up here we have the fuse box for all the different elements within the van. We've actually, which is important, we set up the electric such that each side of the van has an electrical box, so that when we built the vans, the cables came across, and that if we needed to fit stuff on one side of the van, we have the electrics already here, so we don't actually have to reattach back to here. So these two are connected with two big cables, so we can run electrics from either side of the van without going on to the roof again.
Now we're going to come over to the storage. I've already talked about storage below, but again, we have plenty of storage. That's Simon's side, and that's sleeping, plus you can put boots and whatever. We've got exactly the same here, and again, we've got these very simple catches. Everything stays up. I work with these little pockets. It's a great way to store rather than a big hefty bag. Makes a big difference. There's one thing that is very important. We always make sure we have a fire extinguisher, and the only thing we found is all the ones that you can buy don't stay in place when you're driving. They keep falling down. So I came up with a very simple Terra Velcro strap, which does wonders. You'll see that maybe from the back better. A simple shelf at the back is just useful for those. Let's just say you've already base camped, you want your toothbrush and stuff accessible, you just put your wash bag up here. It's really nice if you've got a book, but we're sitting down, you can put the book somewhere and it's not cluttering up the rest of the place. I think that covers it.
And so we have the Fiamma awning here that we put on the van, and to the right of the Fiamma are the solar panels, which you can't see. There's four 100 watt solar panels that I explained before. And finally, or nearly finally, we have our own shower, which is a small 2.5 gallon heater unit that can be connected up to shower. You put the shower up there and you can shower.
This is one of the tricks that we learnt. Whenever you're filling a tank, whenever you're plugging in, there's always going to be a water leak. So by just doing this, any chance of a water leak runs out of the van. And it was just something we came out with. We bought this tow hitch step. It's really useful here. Our plan is to put another tow hitch on the other side so that we can take this from the back, put it round and use it as a step, because that's the only problem we've had with this van is the high step up.
And the beds, as you can see, are simply just cushions we put together with safety pins for the time being, just to get us going. And finally, in here we have the solar coming from the roof. It's the control panel that then links directly to the batteries and charges the batteries. So we can control the solar coming into the batteries, and we can even isolate it by hitting the switch and breaking the connection.
Awesome tour. Thank you very much for taking the time today in this great event. We have a good turnout. We have about 50 vans here, and everybody's going to spend the night and hang out today. Did you have a certain budget you were working with the van when you started your build?
Yes, it was low. The van cost us at the time in 2021 about $50,000 all in. We spent $15,000 in parts. So in essence, this whole construction cost us $65,000, including the price of the van.
And how has it changed your lives and freedom of travel?
We can go all over the country and can get into great places because the van is not large. It's compact, and you can really get to places you can't with other rigs.
Other RVs.
And are you full-timers? Are you weekend warriors?
No, during the week. We're both retired. So we actually go out more during the week than we do at the weekends.
Yeah.
It's less crowded. We've been to Colorado, we went out west, we've been down, we hit Texas, but at the wrong time of the year. No air conditioning.
We've been in Florida. We intend to travel the US using the van and finding places that are, I think, hopefully are fantastic.
One thing that really stood out to me on your build is that cabinet is removable. And what's nice is your plans might change, your travel commitments might change, and you could adapt this van.
Yes.
Like those Max Air fans, those 14 by 14 holes, you could put a rooftop air conditioner.
Yep.
You could put some more amp hours of lithium batteries,
Yep.
bigger inverter down the road, and really change the way you travel. So
Yep.
that's what's nice about a DIY build. You
Yep.
could really adapt it.
We can expand it very easily.
Yeah.
And we can use it as a hauling van as well by taking out the kitchen sink. There's only 4 screws that hold it in. We can take that out. We can take the fridge out. It's only straps holding it in. And we now have large space by putting in 4x8 sheets.
The other thing with the 2 beds is you can actually put a bicycle, 2 bicycles down in between if you need to. I mean, I know we've got the tow hitch so we can have a bike rack, but in an emergency, if we're going away for just a couple of days, forget the tow hitch. Just put them in the back and then you just lock them up when you get to wherever you're going.
Well, I appreciate your time today. My viewers are going to love this. They're going to find value in this. So a lot of people could relate. They might want to build their own and adapt it and build it as they go.
Yeah,
And that's
which
a
is
big
what we
thing.
did.
As the budget allows, they could expand and do
Exactly.
more things. And I think yours is going to be a good inspiration. Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel here at the Northeast Van Life Meetup 2023. We'll see you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.